Well, if anybody's been listening to me, I've had it all turned off. Well, we have Cardiff versus Plymouth. Cardiff, Alnwick, NG, Chambers, Gutas, Dowdowda, with a mid of Tanner, Turnbull, Colville, Robertson and Nagazi. Robinson up front. Plymouth with Grimshaw, Edwards, Sooks, Gibson and Mumba. Midfielder Whittaker, Randall, Haj, Gayabi and Sissoko. Obafemi up front. We then go to Luton, Watford, and we have Luton with Kaminsky, and then Burke, McGuinness, Holmes, Moses, Krause, Clark and Doughty in midfield, Morris, Chong and Adebayo up front, and Watford with Backman at the back, Pollock, Ogbonna, Porthouse, midfield flat five of Andrews, Kayembe, Sissoko, Bashiro and Sema. Up front, Chekvedez and Bayo. So that's a good front line there. We have Oxford versus West Brom with Oxford, Cumming, and then Kyoso, Moore, Nelson and Brown. Volks in the middle, and then midfield of Dembele, Rodriguez, Mizuno and Goodrum and Mark Harris up front. West Brom, Palmer with Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Hegem. Staggered mid of Fellows, Rakic, Dayangana, Mowat and Grant. Maya up front. And then last of the championship ones, Woodman for Preston. And then Hayden, Story, Lindsay and Hughes. Staggered mid of Tordson, McCann, Jensen, Ledson and Brady, and Jakobsen up front. Coventry with Dovin in the goal, Evic, Thomas, Binks and De Silva. Midfield of Bassett, Sheaf, Redoni, Eccles and Latabaudiere. Very good. And then Ellis Sims up front. That Redoni, Latabaudiere and Ellis Sims is usually a really good triangle. And then we go into League One for the two games there. And we go Reading with a Button in goal, Craig and Burke, Bindon and Garcia. Mid of Elliott, Wing and Savage. Up front, Akende, Smith and Nibs. Crawley with Wallacott in goal, Malarkey, Barker and McKenna at the back. Forster, Abraham, Anderson and Kelly. And then a triangle up front of Quintima and Darcy supporting Will Swan. And since I had my microphone off, Wickham with Ravazoli at the back four of Grimmer, Lowe, Taylor, Harvey, staggered mid of McCleary, Scowen, Cameron Humphreys, Morley and Odenimma, and Udo up front. Peterborough try and go for the goals here. Steering goal, Donnelly, Fernandez, Wallin and Sparks. Mid of Poku, Brady, Randall, Collins and Mothersill, and Jade Jones up front. So there's some good attacking football coming, I think. We're going to go for a minute, I think, just to put the get a bit of a drink to sip while I'm talking. And we will be back in a minute. So here we are, and we are ready for the off, and if I am right, we will be starting our onslaught soon. So let's see. Just make sure that everybody is able to see me, which you are, and we will be going into the first half. Any minute. So hold on to your hats, because here we go. So where shall we go? I keep going to that, but we do have a couple of fans. We do have a couple of fans from here. So we will be going with Cardiff versus Plymouth. So that's the one we're going to go with. And welcome to the live. So at the minute we have started. Oh, and Cardiff are starting the brightest, straight into the corner there for Cardiff, and Whittaker grabs that one at the vital point, and Plymouth were caught sleeping there for the first couple of minutes. Certainly not what they expected. Cardiff now back with it in their own area, as we try and just pull the local radio up at the same time. Grimshaw manages to cut that one out. Playing it along the back now, Plymouth. Let's just make sure that the other games are indeed starting. So yeah, Cardiff has started, Luton Watford has started, just started is Oxford West Brom. Preston Coventry has started, the first two to start were Reading and Wickham. So I think the first goal may come at Peterborough. Other than that, it's going to be quite difficult. Don't know. I'm going to stick to that one. West Brom may be the first in the Championship. We shall have a look. Do comment on what your side. If you have if you have a side particularly that you want me to cover, do tell me. We're with Cardiff versus Plymouth. So
easily maintain the ball on the left hand side. Will they win the throw in there? They do. There's actually a throw in. The referee for this afternoon, Andrew Kitchen, gives the host the free kick. As I said, 2 changes for Cardiff. The full side.
So we'll go to Watford. Luton Watford is going to be an interesting game. This is one of those games where you think, oh my God, the local derbies, and there's no way on God's earth that you can work out a local derby. It's like when you say, oh, they've got a local derby, Sheffield United versus Sheffield Wednesday, but everybody knows, as Czechwinets has a shot for Watford and off target though. But you never know what the result's going to be. You really don't, and you may get a really one-sided game. But there's been certainly Cardiff have started the brightest in that one. So that's that one. Here, Sissoko has a shot for Watford. Luton are now desperately trying to get it out. And it's like I say, it's really difficult. You're looking at it and you're thinking, it's a local derby. Luton Watford is a local derby. We're not going to pretend that it's going to be really easy. Why? Because it ain't. Local derbies are notoriously difficult to to judge. It's a bit like the Middlesbrough versus either Newcastle or Sunderland. You know, it doesn't matter who's the top team in the division. It really doesn't. When it's a local derby, it's a local derby. And this is one that I'm looking at now, the Luton-Watford. And at the minute, we've got Watford really doing well, pushing Luton all the way back. At the minute, they've got almost 65% possession. They've already had 2 shots in the first 5 minutes. So Watford get a yellow card there, so they're really pushing and they're going into these tackles quite heavily. So as we move from the Luton game, we leave it with Luton really being pushed back. We are listening a little bit too loudly to the Cardiff game. So that's Cardiff versus Plymouth, because I know that we have a couple of Plymouth supporters that are subbed here, and they do come on. So at the minute, we'll just confirm it. But like at the minute, Cardiff are on top, and it's really weird. Really weird. Olmec now for Cardiff right in the back, and I think Plymouth have just lobbed it forward, hoping that they get somebody on the end of it, and Cardiff are going to start again. And if it goes for the last 6 minutes 35, they've lost it in midfield for once. So perhaps Plymouth then are starting to get their feet back behind the table again. Down to the left, but Griffiths. Oh yeah, Tanner grabs that one. NG and Cardiff have won it back. But Edwards grabs it for Plymouth, and it's down to Al Haj on the left-hand corner of the box. But can't get it in, and Robertson grabs it from him, and the Inception runs it through, cross it to Robson, back to Turnbull, up to Colwill back to NG. Looking at all the others as we go. Still Spurs 0, West Ham 0, if anybody's interested. Turnbull on the left-hand side for Cardiff, and Cardiff are certainly on top at the minute. Colwill on the right. NG. We'll leave you with the the recording. The radio station here is probably about a minute behind me, but you can listen to that one. That's what's on. Cardiff versus Plymouth. We're going to go to Oxford versus West Brom. Nip into Oxford versus West Brom. And we have, let's see what the stats are for the first 6 minutes. 66% possession to West Brom. No shots for either side, which is, I think, quite interesting. Cumming has it for Oxford in the goal. Let's just see what happens. He's walking it out at the minute. So 6 minutes 38, and he rolls it out, gets to the. It's a nice steady play. Mark Harris has a shot on target, and that one's saved. It's kicked straight back out to Goodrum. Goodrum now, Oxford had a nice little break on there and managed to get a shot on target. It was really, West Brom just let him just walk through the entire field. As Goodrum now tries building it up, and Oxford are not giving up on this one. They're only got 33% possession, but they're doing well with the ball when they have it. Looking at all the others, they get it into the box again, and Moore's in the box and cuts it back, and it's took off him by Palmer. Right in the box, and this is worrying for West Brom. West Brom are actually not. They got the ball more often, but they're not doing anything with it. And when Oxford have the ball, they nearly always get into the box. And just to prove me wrong, Furlong has a shot for West Brom, and go back into that one. The Cardiff one just Cardiff Plymouth just opted out on me. Turn that one back on. But yeah, Cardiff are starting really well. Luton Watford is a bit of a mixed bag there, but mainly Watford on the attack for that one. Oxford West Brom is hugely West Brom. Preston versus Coventry, ones that need a win. 10 minutes in, and we have, let's have a look at stats for the first 10 minutes. 66% possession to Preston. Surprisingly, it's the home team that are doing well. 3 shots, 1 on target, no goals for Preston. Nothing for Coventry whatsoever. And that is after 10 minutes. That's a shot every 2.5 minutes, which is pretty damn good. As Coventry now try and prove us all wrong by going down the left-hand side. Can Rudoni do anything? He's got a throw in. De Silva, Rudoni crosses it in. Sims off target, and Coventry have their first shot on goal. Accrington Stanley. Oh, we have our first goal in the match as we're looking at in the Championship. And we've only just been to this one. It's not still goalless. It's Luton 1, Watford 0, and Luton, against the run of play, have managed to take the lead. And it's just make sure everybody's got that. Luton 1, Watford 0. Let's see who scored this, if it lets me. Not yet. Bayo has a yellow card for Watford on 6 minutes. I want to see who scored that one. Let's see whether it'll let me on here. Oh no, not yet. It's not on there yet. So we're really ahead of the goals. That's why we like to bring it to you live, and have a couple of different methods of telling you what's happening. Because there we have in the first goal. In fact, that is the first goal altogether. Because Crawley, it's still. Well, we'll have a look at these two games. Reading versus Crawley. And Reading, nick that one. Lewis Wing, and he crosses it in. Usually quite good, but Barker kicks it back out. Only as far as Craig, and Craig passes it back to Lewis Wing. Back to Craig, back to Lewis Wing. Back to Craig, come on. Back to Bindon. Oh, right, okay. Well, going down the left-hand side. No, back to Button. Kicks it forward, but only as far as McKenna and Crawley can try and pull forward now. But Elliot nicks that one, and it's Craig and Benku. At the minute, it's all Reading. Let's have a look at stats. It's all Reading at the minute, but it hasn't been. Up to now, it's been pretty even, and it's 2 shots to both of them. 1 shot on target for both of them. And 60% possession to Crawley, which is actually not what we're seeing as we look at it, as we look at the game. Just to prove me wrong, Kelly's got it for Crawley. Ibrahim, Barker, McKenna. Can they do anything? Barker, Malarkey, Kelly, Ibrahim. Can they get it forward? They need to get past that midfield line. They have done. Darcy, Quinn Turner. Oh, Elliot grabs it from him and passes it nice sideways to Garcia. And Reading welly it forward then to Wallacott for some strange reason. And Crawley can build from their back. It's a little bit panicky. That's all I can say. It's a little bit panicky. as we will go to Wycombe versus Peterborough.
On the Bluebirds.
And then we'll go back for the... Oh, we will go and get the goal on here. It's Jordan Clark on 11 minutes for Luton Town. So Jordan Clark scored on 11 minutes.
Good tackle there from
Peterborough have a throw-in on by their own
7 in favour.
left-hand corner.
Hash, good piece of play to get the ball in play.
Oh,
Pushes up.
bad throw-in. Gives it straight to Wickham's McCleary, who crosses it, but Collins grabs that, kicks it out. Taylor passes it to Ravazoli for Wycombe.
Really ruining the show right now.
And they nearly had a decent chance there of crossing it in and getting something from it. But as it is, it's Taylor and Ravazoli playing a couple of 1-2s in defence.
Paul first touch, the ball was really fizz into him.
Anyone else with yellow cards? Let's have a look at Cardiff.
Left-hand side, oh, down a good ball into the box, headed away by
Ooh, Taylor. They're still in defence. Oh, they pushed it forward on the left, but Brady grabs it for Peterborough. Donnelly, Walling, Sparks. We have a goal.
What a piece of play that was. Alex Robertson gets on the score sheet, closing in on 16 minutes. And Cardiff, although Plymouth have been the side in possession, been the side with momentum, that's the first real attack over the last few minutes. Cardiff have managed to munster up. And what a finish it was.
Cardiff.
Robertson.
Callum Robinson. So Cardiff have now... I said Cardiff were actually in the ascendancy, and it apparently has managed to go through. There's the second goal of the morning, sorry. And it's Cardiff 1, Plymouth 0. What did we say? People watching the game. Cardiff 1. As Wycombe keep getting as far as halfway, and then
opening 16 and a half minutes, they do have the lead. What a goal it was as well.
Cardiff City, Alex Robinson. There we are. Alex Robinson. Hang on, that's not that one. That's the midfielder. Robertson, not Robinson. Right, okay. Ah, dear.
Oxford United, Plymouth, Luton, Preston.
Yeah, just got the confirmation on here. That's that one.
But they have moved above QPR and above Portsmouth into 22nd.
Yeah, let's have a look at that.
Live table and the 3 points right now.
Where are Cardiff right now? 22nd? Yeah. There are 8 points. QPR are on 7. Portsmouth are now bottom on 5. And as it stands, Portsmouth will not be out of the bottom. Will not be out of the bottom 3 at all. Well, there wouldn't be in anyway. So, but QPR 10, they could probably get quite decent up to if they could get a win. So we've looked at those. Oh, we got a Cardiff. Right, we knew that one. Can't. Let's go to Oxford West Brom. Go Oxford West Brom, shall we? If anybody doesn't want a particular team, then please do mention. We'll just keep nipping back to them. We've got Cardiff 1, Plymouth 0 on the radio, which is probably about a minute behind me. But yeah, we're concentrating on the Cardiff Plymouth game this lunchtime. Cardiff are definitely. They started off really well, and within like 30 seconds they were in the Plymouth box having a shot. So they seem to have really started off really bright of Cardiff. Plymouth, they've taken the time to really get going, and at the minute they don't seem to be really getting together. Dembele, one of the first shots for Oxford there. West Brom controlling this game at Oxford. However, Oxford are certainly not giving. They're the sort of team, aren't they, in this division that They never give up. They just never give up. They can. I reckon they could be 6-0 down. They still not give up. They're a joy to watch because they don't lower their heads and just like, oh, that's it, I'm not bothering. Which is what my team did last year and at the beginning of this year. So Mark Harris is injured for Oxford. So that'll be a bit of a blow if he's seriously injured. So come away from that 18 minutes, and we have an injury in the Oxford game. We have a goal in the Tottenham game if anybody's interested. Tottenham 0, West Ham 1. We'll go to the Preston Coventry, then we'll go back and just spend some time with the Plymouth game that we're at. So Coventry and Plymouth, both of which have to win this. Let's face it, neither of these teams want to draw. Neither of these teams want to lose. Unfortunately, they're playing each other, and they can't. We're not going to get that, are we? At the minute, it's all Preston. Preston have 60% possession, 4 shots, 1 on target. Coventry have managed 1 shot, wasn't on target. So Thomas pushes it forward, Ledson, Latibaudier. The Coventry's that three. There's a triangle of 3 players that I like at the front of Coventry. Rudoni, Latibaudier, they're 2 of them, and they play well together. They're always sort of like triangulating it between each other. Thomas there for Coventry, Eccles, De Silva. Rudoni crosses it to Bassett. Oh, and he loses it to Lindsay, and Lindsay willies it out to Jensen. Passes it back and then kicks it out to, as far as Coventry's Latibaudier, Sheaf, Eccles, and it comes straight back into the Preston half with Rudoni and Binks. And the play here seems to have come back again, and now it's Coventry that are on the attack, and Coventry have started to turn the table. It started all Preston. It's now Coventry have a shot and it's off target, and Coventry are starting to hit back, which is actually quite interesting. Let's have a look at the odds for that, because the odds have now evened out, and even the bookies have suddenly realised that Preston were on top of this game, and they were running it, 60-odd% possession, and now Coventry are starting to pound back again, and it's at the minute they're encamped in the Preston end, which has been completely different. And what's happened at Cardiff have scored a second. I was just about to go and have a look at the game, and Cardiff have scored a second, and it's Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. We'll listen it. Cardiff have been in utter ascendancy and have taken complete control of this game. Cardiff are certainly in the driving seat. I'd actually disagree with the radio. I think that Cardiff have been in the ascendancy since the first 30 seconds. But and what's happened at Luton Town? It was Luton 1, Watford 0. Morris has a close shot, nearly a goal for Morris there for Luton, but it's rescued by Sema. And Luton Town nearly getting a second goal there at home. And come back out of that one. That's on 24 minutes. Wow. We will go to we were going to the Cardiff game anyway, so we will go into it because we might as well. If you've got a particular team, then just put it in the comments and we'll keep going back to them. Or if MA for Plymouth, pass it to Mumba. we're going to see if Plymouth can muster anything, because we're in 24 minutes and so far Plymouth haven't even turned up. They've got the most of the possession, but they play it along the back line. But playing it along the back line's no good. They can't get it past midfield. And a Cardiff team that are 24th in the league, they just don't seem to be able to get past that mid. We say that Randall gets to midfield. Sucks, Edwards passes it right to the right hand side of mid. And then they try pushing it forward, but Gutas grabs that for Cardiff and gives it to Robinson. And I keep mixing Robinson and Robertson up, so just to piss me off. Why do people have this similar names? Robinson. If I get it wrong, I apologise. Edwards for Plymouth. Gibson now for Plymouth. And we pass it to Mumba. Trying to get up the left-hand side now with Sissoko. Sissoko's going to try back to Mumba. Couple of 1-2. Sissoko, Mumba, Sucks. All right, on the right-hand side. Trying up the right-hand side, perhaps, with Sucks. And Cardiff now grab it back with Robertson. Gutas, and we're still with Cardiff with Colville to Tanner on the right hand side, back to NG. We're sticking to this right hand wing with Tanner. Try and go down to League One. We do have a goal at Reading indeed. We will put that one on, and Reading were certainly the team that were looking like more like scoring. I think it was a bit dull, to be honest, but they were. Reading 1, Crawley 0, and Reading are starting to put on the pressure there. I think actually, if we look at it, it's Mbengu that scored on 20 minutes, and I'm sure it was. See, Crawley had most of the play, but they can't. It's been, all the shots have been for Reading. 6 shots for Reading, 3 on target, 1 goal. 3 shots for Crawley, even though they've had 60% possession. So possession isn't everything, and certainly in that game it isn't. So it's Reading 1, Crawley 0, and it looks. I know it's only 25 minutes, but it looks like that one could be going the way of Reading. But Crawley aren't one of those sides to just give in and give up. So let's see if they can get back into it. Manchester United women are winning 1-0 away to Brighton and Hove Albion women. West Ham are still winning 1-0 away at Spurs. And we go back to the Cardiff game. Colville, Robertson. And along midfield, just popping it between them all the way up the midfield, back across the left-hand side with Chambers. Chambers lobs it forward, but Edwards intercepts that one for Plymouth, and Plymouth try and pass it sideways along the defence. But they lose it, and it is indeed a Cardiff corner. Edwards tried intercepting that, but really should have done better than that. So wait for the Cardiff corner. Comes across. Oh, that's a bit. I tried to be short, I think, and Plymouth grabbed it, lost it, and then grabbed it back again right before it even got into the box. Tanner. Cardiff, Colville, Turnbull, right hand side of the box, comes in. Gutas has a shot, but it's off target. We'll listen to that in a minute. But bad attempt by Gutas there, I'm afraid. Gibson now. It's nearly 30 minutes in. I don't know whether he's watching the same game. I don't think the first 15 minutes were Plymouth. I think the first 15 minutes on good quality attempts at goal were actually Cardiff. I think the first 30 minutes have been Cardiff. So Mumba, Haj, Sucks, pushes it forward, but Gutas intercepts that one, kicks it out. As far as Randall, and he kicks it in, and Robertson grabs that one back for Cardiff, and the Bluebirds will build down the right hand side, and Robertson now, quick tap back to NG. Colville, right on the right hand wing for Cardiff. Foul. So Cardiff get a kick it in, and it right on the far side, far left. Cardiff for that free. They try tapping it in steadily, but Sucks intercepts that one for Plymouth, taps it out, and it comes back to Randall. Whittaker to Gutas, but Gutas grabs it. Obafemi grabs it off Gutas. What can Obafemi do for Plymouth? He passes it to the left, but NG intercepts that one. Passes it back to Olnwick and up the left hand side to O'Dowda, and O'Dowda gives it to Turnbull. Turnbull on the left hand side for Cardiff. Turnbull will he's pushed it forward. It eventually gets to El Ghazi, and El Ghazi tries to get past the defence, manages to get through defence, and manages to get into and it ends up being a Plymouth. Too much on that one. It was actually just a pass to try and give Tanner a kick, but it didn't work. Gibson for Plymouth. Grimshaw now for Cardiff, for Plymouth. And Plymouth will try and build from the back. But we all need a little bit of power occasionally. And turning the power on the computer may be a damn good idea. Al-Haj for Plymouth. Gayabi. Whittaker. I don't see too much of Whittaker, I must admit. Gayabi, Mumba crosses it in, but Chambers is easy to that one and gives it to Colwell immediately to try and do a quick break. Perhaps no, goes left to the right to NG. Tanner on the right. Turnbull. O'Dowda. Push it forward. Offside for Cardiff. We will go out, but we don't want to be. Well, there's nobody in anyway, so we'll might. And there's been a goal at Oxford. Oh, there's been a goal at Reading as well. We missed a couple of goals here, guys. We've now got Oxford 0. Nearly gave it to the wrong side there. West Brom 1. We have Reading 1, Crawley Town 1. So yeah, we've had an equaliser. They have actually got most of the play, Crawley. It's just that they haven't been getting in the box. But hell, they've managed to equalise. Wycombe 0 at Peterborough. Let's have a look at Wycombe Peterborough. Woo. So at the minute, Peterborough are slightly on top, but only possession-wise. Actually, this is where the possession doesn't make any difference. Is it 59% possession to Peterborough, one shot, none on target. no goals. Whereas Wycombe have 3 times as many attacks, 5 shots, 2 on target, no goals. And at the minute, if anybody's going to score, it's going to be Wycombe. But we know what Peterborough are like. Give them a couple of free kicks or corners and they'll do well. As Peterborough go offside, and 35 minutes Peterborough offside. Cardiff have a corner here for the third one of the game. We are at Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0, but we're also looking at the others, so I'm just keeping an eye at the minute on Wycombe versus Peterborough, and Peterborough grabbed that one. Wycombe were right, doing a nice run there, but Collins has managed to get it. Back to Walling, kicks it forward, but only as far as Taylor for Wycombe. Not sure that high long balls will work against this, but Poku grabs it and gives it to Mothershill, crosses it in. Ravazzoli is just in there in time to kick it out, but only as far as Dornley, and Dornley on the Peterborough right can try and do a couple 1-2s with Mothershill and Randall to try and get it a chance to get it in the box, and the three of them are just tapping it between each other. Poku, Collins, Poku, Fernandez. There's loads of bloody Peterborough players in that corner. Walling tries crossing it, but McCleary tries kicking it out, but only as far as Walling again. Walling has a shot, but it's wide of the target and hits a defender, and that defender is Grimmer, and Grimmer can try and push it forward, and they try for a really good break, but Collins stops it right outside the Peterborough box, and Wycombe on the break there, and if it could be something like that is their undoing. Udo again just breaks in near the box, but again the Peterborough defence manages to kick it out, and we have an issue with my internet results in it.
Central defender, 37 minutes played. Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. Goals in the 16th minute from Robertson, and in the 24th from Colwell will be the difference maker.
I do need to just check my internet. It does seem to be. Let's just check my internet. It's that is that one, so we don't want that one. I want to get rid of that one. Are we back on? Are we back a little bit better now? I think we're back a bit better. I've just removed one of those files. So Mothershill back to Collins for Peterborough, and just keep an eye on the quality for you. If anybody does come in and sees the quality drop, just give me a quick shout. I am looking at the quality on the screen on the right hand side on my other screen. Wycombe, we're with Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. If you want to listen to that one. Cardiff have been on top for most of the game, if not all of the game. They sort of had a little bit of a glimmer in the first 10 minutes, but then just never seemed to get into the game. And when Cardiff scored, it's been Cardiff all the way. We'll be going back to sort of give a bit of commentary on it in a second. We're just with Wycombe Peterborough, as Peterborough get a yellow card. At the minute, Peterborough seem to be they're ahead on possession, but they're not ahead on shots. Wycombe are by far on top on shots and technical ability. Oh, look at the others then. We have Wycombe 0, Peterborough 0, Reading 1, Crawley 1. Crawley came back there. Preston Coventry we need to go to, because Preston are right in the box. What's happened here? I think they're looking at a penalty. Are they going to give a penalty? Wow, you can't die on me now. The radio's died, if nothing. I've got my internet. But yeah, they appear to be looking at whether to give a penalty. To Preston. So we're sort of like, well, they decided not to, and they carried on. And Preston can start building from the back because it got cleared out. De Silva, loses it to Story, and that was a close one there. Just wondering whether it was going to be a penalty, but they decided not to. It's listen to this. Red card. It is. Sissoko gets a red card for Plymouth. That will be a downer. It's a red card for Plymouth, and it's Cardiff City 2, 10-man Plymouth 0. And what can 10-man Plymouth do now? Because they're already not doing too well. So the Cardiff player kicked the ball at Sissoko, and Sissoko lost his rag, and that's it. He gets his marching orders. Tottenham have now equalised at home to West Ham. It's Tottenham 1, West Ham 1. We have a goal at Reading again. We have a goal at Reading. Let's put that. That's not the one. So we have a goal at Reading, and it's now Reading 2, Crawley 1. So we have Reading 2, Crawley 1, Wycombe 0, Peterborough 0, Preston 0, Coventry 0, but I think they were sort of looking at whether that was a penalty for Peterborough, but they decided not to. Oxford 0, West Brom 1, Luton 1, Watford 0, and I think that's actually against the run of play. From what I was seeing, it looked more like a Watford first goal, but no, it's a Luton first goal, and it's Luton 1, Watford 0. At Cardiff, it's all Cardiff, and it's now Cardiff 2, 10-man Plymouth 0, and Sissoko was just stupid there. He reacted to the ball being kicked at him, and he's off. You've got to, if you're going to be paid that amount of money, you need to be able to keep your temper, I think, at that point. As Gibson has a shot for Plymouth, but it's off target. And Cardiff have a goal kick. Way forward, and it goes down, far down, gets to NG, comes back through midfield to Alnwick, and back up to Robertson, and they're just like going at right hand side now. They're probing down the left. Chambers, what's he going to do down the left? Chambers, Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0, across via a couple of players to Gutas on the right hand side, and Cardiff are just seeing which side to try and attack down next. Down the left hand side now with O'Dowda, perhaps. Yeah, O'Dowda gets it. Turnbull, O'Dowda, Turnbull. What a couple of 1-2s, but they're still actually exactly in the same position as where they started. Robertson back to Turnbull. O'Dowda, Turnbull again. Guess what? It has, yeah, Turnbull, Gutas. Oh dear, NG, we shouldn't laugh. Gutas, yeah, if they're seeing him as being the key playmaker, then that's it. Robertson, Chambers, Turnbull, O'Dowda, Chambers, Cardiff push the ball forward, but it's offside for Cardiff. We're 44 minutes and 43 seconds in, and it's Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0, and Cardiff are running this show. And it's still Plymouth with the most possession, which is really weird because it's 10 shots to Cardiff, 3 on target, 2 goals. And it's only 3 shots to Plymouth, 1 on target, no goals. So you can tell as we see 3 minutes of extra time at Cardiff. So we've got 3 more minutes. Gutas tries kicking it, but only as far as a Plymouth player who doesn't really do a very good job. Gives it back to Gutas. Robertson. Chambers.
45 minutes played, about 15 seconds into it, 3 minutes of added time. So closing in.
Robinson, Turnbull. Using Turnbull quite a lot, Cardiff, and unless Plymouth, the only way that Plymouth are going to get back in this is by taking Turnbull out, but they've got 1 man less, which makes it really, really difficult. Chambers, I mean, whoever's man marking him needs to be thinking about what, doing their job better. Gutas, NG. We said 2-1 to Reading? Yeah, we did. Yeah. NG on the right hand side for Cardiff.
Here come Cardiff down the left hand side, ball into El
Crossed it.
He brought down there, he is. And it's around 5 or 10 yards, not probably, excuse me, more like 10 yards.
Cardiff get a free kick.
Penalty area. Can Cardiff make this 3-0 before the half time period?
This could be floated in.
Probably kill the game off, unfortunately.
Let's see where this free kick goes. And then we'll move on to the others and see whether they've finished for half time. As we go in. Oh, he's kicked it backwards. Okay. Right, okay. Gone back.
Turnbull to take the free kick. Referee Andrew Kitchen just set it the wall up, just having a few words with some Plymouth players.
Pushed it back a bit. Oh, he does it. Colwell has a shot on target. But it's called offside. Now listen to it if you want.
It's a good one into the bottom of the corner. Good save. Still alive in the area. Headed away by Gibson.
Offside.
Referee given a free kick as the free kick given against Robinson. Unfortunately, that was a good striker goal though from Colwell. He hits it and it bounces.
So yeah, just offside there. So we'll come back out of that one. So it's just about going to, just should be about half time now. 48 minutes of 48 at Cardiff. Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. We have half time at Preston. Preston 0. Coventry 0. Half time now at Cardiff. Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. Luton and Oxford still playing. Reading are still 2-1 up as we go into our lunch break. We're going for our break. I'm going to have a coffee. 1-0 still at Luton Town, but they're still playing 48 minutes. Oxford 0, West Brom 1, 47 minutes now. And Wycombe 0, Peterborough 0's are finished for half time. Reading 2, Crawley 1's finished for half time. Luton 1, Watford 0 has now finished for half time. Shall we just quickly nip into the Oxford game and see what's happening? Now that's now finished for half time. Oxford 0, West Brom 1. We will just put that on there. I think it went off when I had to re-log in again. We'll leave you with that. if it manages to come back. Usually does. So the radio will play away for a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to just... whoops, don't want that. I'm just going to pull that up, take that away, and we will see you in just before the second half. Please do stay around, have a chat. You know, I don't mind having a quick talk. Tell us who you support, and in the second half we can go into the different games. I'm going to have a coffee. At the minute, we're looking at the Cardiff to Plymouth 0 game. If you're interested, and it's been all Cardiff. Sissoko for Plymouth got sent off, red card, and I don't know who it was. The Cardiff player kicked the ball at Sissoko on purpose, and then Sissoko just lost his nut and got a red card. I can't help thinking that the Cardiff player should have got something as well, because you know he obviously did it on purpose. It was a clear cut. Yeah, I'm going to kick the ball at this guy and try and get him to react, and he reacted. Just not the sort of play that the referees nowadays are just so they're not going to stand for anything like that, and unfortunately it's Cardiff 2, 10-man Plymouth 0. So we'll be back in a short while, 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll be into the second half. We'll listen to the recap of the first half for Coventry versus Cardiff versus Plymouth.
City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2 goals, 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. And disappointing under from Wayne Rooney's side. We could open in 15 minutes for a strike just outside the area on 16th minute from Robertson, and curling efforts back of the net gave the Bluebirds the lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Colwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if it wasn't bad enough, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, Plymouth down to 10 men. Half time, the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2 goals, 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds, and disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. We could open in 15 minutes but a strike just outside the area on 16th minute from Robertson, and curling efforts back of the net gave the Bluebirds the lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Colwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if it wasn't bad enough, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, Plymouth down to 10 men. Half time, the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2 goals, 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds, and disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. We could open in 15 minutes but a strike just outside the area on 16th minute from Robertson, and curling efforts back to the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute. Colwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if it wasn't bad enough, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, down to 10 men. Half time, the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute. Holwell added more misery to Wayne Rooney's side, and then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, put down to 10 then. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Holwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, put down to 10 then. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute. Holwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, put down to 10 then. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Holwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, put down to 10 then. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Holwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a red card, put down to 10 then. Half time at the Cardiff City Stadium, and it's Cardiff who lead 2-0. An impressive performance in the first half from the Bluebirds. A disappointing one though from Wayne Rooney's side. A good opening 15 minutes, but a strike just outside the area on the 16th minute from Robertson. A curling effort to the back of the net gave the Bluebirds lead. Then a lovely finish on the 24th minute from Holwell added more misery for Wayne Rooney's side. And then the 41st minute, as if he wanted to ban it up, Ibrahim Sissoko received a
Welcome back. Well, 28. We should be getting going soon. We are listening to the Cardiff City versus 10-man Plymouth. That's been not quite the game I thought it would be. I did think Plymouth would put up a fight, and at the minute they haven't. And Sissoko's sending off was just so insane. The Cardiff guy kicked the ball purposefully threw it at him, quite on purpose, and obviously hoping to get a reaction from Sissoko. And he just blew his top, and that was it. He was going to get sent off, and it was just riled on purpose by the Cardiff guy. I mean, to hit the guy with a ball on purpose, obviously trying to get him to react, and the guy did, and Sissoko deserves to get sent off, but for the money they're on, it's like, just calm it, cool it. He's trying to get you sent off. He's succeeded, I can't see why. Some players are always red-headed or hot-headed, aren't they? And I don't know if Sissoko is usually, but I've not heard of him being a hot-headed player, but he's certainly done one there. We have a quick look at the other games, because we have got other games on. So we have Cardiff 2, Plymouth 0. 10-man Plymouth 0. Cardiff have been in the lead for a while. they've been ahead really all the game. They've always been looking like they were going to be the winners there. Luton won, Watford 0, and Watford actually started the brighter of the two teams, and I think Luton, for me, fought back on that one, and it was all Watford in the Luton end, and then all of a sudden the Luton team scored, and then after that they didn't seem to look back, and up to that goal, I'd say it was going to be a Watford win, but you look at at how Luton suddenly turned it around at the same time as got that first goal, and now you can't see Watford for dust. They seem to have disappeared down the road and gone for dinner. 2 yellow cards each, so it's one of those. Is it going to be one of those games that gets loads and loads of yellow cards? We have Oxford versus West Brom, which, to be honest, keep going into this, and it seems to be almost 50-50. It's West Brom started, I think, more. West Brom started better, but Oxford then came straight back into it and started taking over the game. But then in the latter half of the first half, West Brom started to come back, and that's when they scored. And it's been quite to and fro. You know, first West Brom, then Oxford, then West Brom, and then Oxford had a little, then the goal. Then we had Oxford had a little bit of a good period, and then West Brom just took over. Would I bet against West Brom winning it? No, not knowing Oxford. Oxford never die, do they? Oxford never say die. Technically, I would say Oxford must have to be the favourites. West Brom have to be the favourites, but Oxford, I just can't write Oxford off. I just can't. I could see the way they're playing. I can see them doing it. At least getting back for a draw. But at the minute, if they come out the same as they finished, it looks like it's going to be constantly West Brom all the way through the second half. Preston Coventry. Now this is a difficult one, as Preston's actually started the second half. So and it's Preston that have been pegged back immediately by Coventry, and Eccles has a shot off target for Coventry, and Coventry are. They're about 50-50, I suppose, in actual abilities here. The 8 shots, 2 on target to Preston, 6 shots, none on target for Coventry. Now you shouldn't be at their level, Coventry's level, and putting 6 shots to target that big and not getting 1 on target. You should be at least 1 out of every 6 on target. We should be really getting 1 out of every 4. So they're not doing too well on their ability to actually hit the bloody target. And the XG sort of eyes that up. XG for Preston 0.96, XG for Coventry 0.33. So they're not getting in the critically good positions to try and attempt a goal on. Other than that, it's pretty even, and it's been sort of like up to midfield, back again, up to midfield, back again. So that's the Preston game. The Reading Crawley one's interesting in League One. As they've started as well, and Reading are back on the attack, but lose it to Forster. Reading scored first. Crawley equalised, I think, against the run of play really, and then Reading managed to get back in. It's one of those games where the stats. You can't follow the stats because Crawley have the ball more often, but Reading, when they've got it, goes straight into the Crawley half and have at least a good shot at target, even if it's not on. 8 shots for Reading, 4 on target, 2 goals. Pretty good, isn't it? So Reading are on top, not possession-wise, but they're certainly on top in the game. I do want to go to the next one before the commentary drown me out. Let's take that down a little bit. Wycombe, this one started as well. Wycombe 0, Peterborough 0. And this is difficult because it's similar to the last game. You've got Peterborough who will have the ball more often. But Wycombe are the ones that are doing all the shooting and getting in the box. The Wycombe have been in the final third almost 3 times more than what Peterborough have. They've shot 7 times with 3 on target, no goals. Peterborough have shot 3 times with no goals and none on target. And and it has a goal. And as I say that, Peterborough get a shot, their first shot on target, and it's Wycombe 0, Peterborough 1 with their first shot on target. How the hell? I swear they do this on purpose to prove me wrong, don't they? Wycombe 0, Peterborough 1, totally against the run of play, straight after the kickoff, and Peterborough, I'd love to know how that one came about. They're actually on the attack again with Poku, the leading scorer. We'll just transfer that across so you can all see that one. It's not going to tell me who the scorer is yet, because it literally only just happened. But we'll see. I want to see if it's Poku. It's actually Jaden Jones. Jaden Jones for Peterborough. We have actually got a scorer. So we come out. We're gonna go Luton, Watford. There's a goal at Luton. And straight after the kick-off, 47 minutes from a corner, we have a Luton goal. And it is now Luton 2, Watford 0. It started with Watford doing so well, and Luton were ahead, I think, against the run of play. And now they're 2-0 up, and it's not what I expected at all on that one. Not by watching the first bits of reports on that. Looked that Watford were well in the ascendancy, but then after that first goal, it became more possession for Luton, but Watford was still having the more probing runs, even though they had less of the possession. It's been certainly different from the first few minutes. The first few minutes you'd think it was going the other way. Luton 2, Watford 0. We are, of course. I want to see this Preston game. This Preston Coventry game is just the side playing best seems to be Preston, but Coventry just don't seem to be able to get that final ball in. And Preston just seem to be dying as soon as they get into the box. They get to the box, but they don't seem to get past in a position to actually lay one into the box and have a shot. Or they sort of get into the box and then get 2 men out and push back. Preston have an injury to Forkir Jansen. So we may have to come back out. There's 52 minutes there. So they've got injury time over there. We have, and it's another goal at Cardiff. I was going to go into it because obviously that's the game we're actually watching, and we'll let you listen to it because they're a bit behind on the radio. Listen to this one.
Tap it into an empty net. Cardiff out there third, and what an afternoon. It's becoming an absolute rout possibly for Cardiff against Wayne Rooney's Plymouth. Lovely piece of play from the man who scored the second goal for Cardiff.
Simple tapping at the far corner for El Ghazi.
Gets his name on the score sheet. Lovely play down the right.
El Ghazi just out of I'll wait for the ball and just tap it in there. Is the extra man counting? Yeah, possibly. He should never have reacted to that ball being lobbed at him. Just should never have happened. Losing your temper on the field in front of the referee is. We would never have got sent off for it in the early days, in the 80s and 90s, but nowadays, being hit by a ball and then sort of losing your temper is a sending off. But to me, if you're gonna egg someone on, surely you send the other guy off as well for trying to, because it's bringing the game into disrepute, isn't it? I mean, what do you think? Is it bringing the game into disrepute if I throw a ball at you, wanting you to react and get a red card? To me, it is. I mean, if you're going to give it to one, give it to the other guy. He did it on purpose. So this is how far do you take it? How far do you take the rule? Because there's a rule for both of them. One is the game into disrepute, and the other one's for oh God, Colwell has another shot for Cardiff, and Cardiff are on constant attack. It'll be a corner, I think. Short to Turnbull. Oh, crossed him, but Mumba can try and kick that one out. Oh, yeah. Another corner. They hit the bar. Oh my God. Another corner, I think. The Mumba nearly scored an own goal there, which would be really funny, wouldn't it? And comes in, and Dowda has a shot on target, but that's saved. And Cardiff are under the cosh at the minute. Grimshaw kicks it out as far as Houghton. And Houghton now can try and kick it to the left for Gibson. Gibson back to Mumba. Mumba for Plymouth. Plymouth, come on, let's see what Plymouth can do. Houghton. 3-0 to Cardiff. He passes it back to Grimshaw. Back to Mumba on the left-hand side. Passes it, tries to thread it down the left, but Colwell grabs it again. Colwell's been on, I think he's on a high today, I think. But he loses it, and he eventually gets back to Giabi for Plymouth, and Plymouth can try and get gets it past halfway, gets into the box, and Chambers takes it off him. And Chambers can kick it out. Chambers certainly wanted to get it out quick.
Still have an opportunity to put a ball on the box from this corner.
So they have a corner now. Plymouth have a corner. Come on, what can Plymouth do with a corner? Oh, dear Lord. What are you doing it short for? And it's short. It went back to Whittaker, and Whittaker kicks it in, but Alnwick saves it at the at his right post, at Plymouth's facing left post. If you know what I mean. Oh dear. They've now got with the goalie for Cardiff, gives it out to Gutas. And Cardiff are now calming it down. Robertson now for Cardiff. Gutas, Chambers, little triangle in defence. This is something I've seen Plymouth do, where Rooney seemed to make them all back to basics, doing the little triangles, and he did really well. And Cardiff are doing it to Plymouth now at the back. They're doing little triangles just to keep the ball up past midfield for Cardiff. Forward, El Ghazi now scored that last goal, and he crosses it, but it goes out on the far side for Plymouth throwing. And he loses it. He throws it in immediately. He loses it to a Plymouth player, to a Cardiff player. And Colwell now comes into the box. Tries giving it to El Ghazi at the far side, but it gets kicked out, and it's another corner for Plymouth for Cardiff. He tried doing exactly the same as the last time. From Cardiff's right hand side straight to the left hand side post for El Ghazi. It was almost in the fourth. Almost 4-0 there. Back to Turnbull at the minute. Tanner. Crikey, the radio station's nearly on track with me. Turnbull. He runs it out. Tries running it in. Kicks it. Grimshaw's stopped that one right near the line. So Grimshaw's a saver there for Plymouth, who tries running it out. I think I'd get it out quicker than that, Grimshaw. Gibson. And Gibson gives it to NG and manages to get it back. I mean, that was a bad place to give it away. NG could have whipped one in at that point, really close to the box. Goes to the right hand side. Eventually to Obafemi. And Obafemi now can try. He loses it. Tries passing it, but El Ghazi gets it. Gives it to Colwell, and Colwell pass it, crosses it to Tanner. Tanner has a shot on goal, and it's almost 4-0. And but it's another corner to Cardiff, and Cardiff are absolutely on fire. And at the minute, you can't even. It's almost like not. Will it get to 4-0? It's when will it get to 4-0? What we're on? 59 minutes. It comes in and Turnbull has a shot, but it's off target. And Plymouth break with it. Plymouth break with it. The other end. Plymouth. And then it's Edwards. It's put that Plymouth corner straight to the other end. Right. No, it's not. It's kicked out by Cardiff. Didn't give him a corner. And Plymouth can rebuild from the back. And Plymouth had a really good break there. Actually, Plymouth were, while everyone else is talking about the Cardiff corner, it went straight to the bloody end, and it was almost catching them out. So they're certainly not putting the head down and giving up, which is one of the things that the traits of a good championship side, I think, is you just don't give up, and even if you're sort of 2 or 3-0 down, even in 4-0, you still try and get back. Turnbull for Cardiff, back to Chambers. Turnbull, Chambers, O'Dowda. O'Dowda gets it back. Chambers back to Olmec. We're just Gutas. We're just shundering it around. Turnbull, Robertson. Yeah, what's the goal difference going to be now for Yeah, while he's saying that, it's probably a good idea to have a quick look at the goal difference.
I'll be saying to his side, let's get some goals here. Let's really put a marker down. And
So
another down to 10 men, but put a really good performance.
we are Cardiff in 22nd, 10 games, 8 points, minus 11. Portsmouth are bottom on minus 11, QPR are minus 7, but most importantly, Cardiff are offside. Most importantly, Coventry have minus 3, Millwall have plus 1, and Preston have minus 5. You know, if Cardiff are still quite heavily negative, and they certainly would do quite good to get a few goals to even things up. Whereas Plymouth are on minus 6 and are in 17th on 11 points. Very, very careful at this point. Plymouth just didn't seem to have come out of the. They had a little bit of a blip right at the beginning where they played a little bit better than what they did as soon as Cardiff scored. But Cardiff, within 30 seconds, Cardiff were in the box and having a shot, and I think that was just one of the points of the game that I remember that sort of said, well, Cardiff are wanting this more than what Plymouth are. Whittaker now for Plymouth, and they've not let the heads down. Like I said, that last corner, and Plymouth went straight to the end while the radio's still talking about the corner. Plymouth actually went straight to the end and had a shot on goal, and they never even mentioned it, but it went straight to the other end. And minutes later, less than a couple of minutes later, it's at the other end having a shot on target. So Edwards now with Plymouth. Houghton in their own half. Gibson just running it along the back of midfield. Mumber on the left-hand side. 10-man Plymouth. That was as stupid a sending off as you can ever hope to see. If you get a ball kicked at you or thrown at you, you don't react to it. It's just asking for it, isn't it? Oh, Plymouth give it away in their own half, and Cardiff have a couple of passes, but Isaka manages to get it from him, but only to lose it to Turnbull. Goes back into Chambers in at halfway. Turnbull's been... if they could neutralise Turnbull, they could neutralise the game, but Turnbull's been the central pin of Cardiff so far, as Cardiff have a rolling shot, but it's out for a goal kick to Plymouth. Up to Gibson. And Gibson gives it to Houghton. Houghton to Grimshaw. And we're going to keep on there. Luton 2-0 up still. Oxford 0, West Brom 1. Still Preston 0, Coventry 0. Reading 2, Crawley 1. And still Wickham 0, Peterborough 1. As Plymouth have a gentle pass forward, and Cardiff grabbed that one. Couple of passes, and they tried. Cardiff tried a pass there, but it got intercepted. But they were just too quick. Houghton was just too quick to push it back, and then it comes straight back from Cardiff in the same way. It's a bit ping pong bally at the minute. Colwell now, what's he going to do? In the centre circle for Cardiff, and Cardiff can try and build forward from the halfway. Into the far left-hand corner with Ghazi, and El Ghazi pulls it back, and Turnbull has a shot, but it's off target, and it comes back off a defender and bounces back in, and Robertson has a shot, and it's that also bounces off a defender. And it comes back to Edwards, but Edwards loses it to O'Dowda. That's a corner, but it's a substitution now for Cardiff. I don't know what's happened there, but 66 minutes. I'll have to listen to this. What does he think happened there?
Cross back from coming forward. The third goal for Cardiff. There were shouts for offside, but watching it back, it was a lovely piece of play from Tanner into the path of Colwell. A lovely pass into the back post. There was a Colwell goal and assist to his name. Colwell number 27.
Looks like it's just going to be a normal goal kick for Plymouth, but yeah, it's strange if it's still Spurs 1, West Ham 1. That's 51 minutes down there. Right, Plymouth now kicking it out. They get over the halfway line. Back to Gibson. Back to Randall. Back to Edwards. Now we whistled like forward, back. But at least they're keeping the ball and trying to probe down the, at the minute, right hand side. Oh, Randall loses it to Rinomhota in a dangerous position. O'Dowda, Robertson, Willock, Robertson, O'Dowda, El Ghazi. Oh, Hardy intercepts that one. What can he do with it? He runs with it. He's running over the halfway line, back into the corner, into the right-hand corner, tries crossing it. Oh, Robertson blocks it, but Isaka gets it and kicks it. Oh, just couldn't do a kick it to Hardy, and it goes out for a throw-in to Cardiff. And that was a good bit of work there. They got right into the corner, but the defence just stood there and they just couldn't get. There was 3 of them as well. The 3 of them, they couldn't get past them. So 3 against 2, and they couldn't get past it. Short throw in to by Cardiff. It goes to a Plymouth player who loses it straight to Chambers, who loses it straight to Gibson. Come on, keep the ball. Stop being. I don't like ping pong football. And it goes out for a Cardiff throw-in in their own half. There's been a fair bit of ping pong football, which is just a case of teams not keeping the ball and just calming down and thinking, just keep the ball, calm it, cool it. Robertson there. Gutas. Alnwick. Yeah, I mean, I said it's not far, but of course, Cardiff Plymouth isn't far if you actually look at it as the bird flies, but they've got to go all the way to Cheltenham and round the corner and back via Bristol and then down the M5, which is actually a little bit long, a nice long hook shape, which is not that not as close as the birds fly, is it? Robertson now gives it to Robinson. Give it to Robertson. Across to Willock, go to the right hand side for Gutas. Gutas now on the right hand side for Cardiff. Not playing it quickly, they play it very slowly. NG kicks it forward, but it gets into the box, but Gibson's there to kick it out. And 69 minutes now. And the interesting thing is that that Cardiff have taken off Turnbull and brought on Rinomhota, and I actually think Turnbull was their kingpin. So we'll see how that works, because I actually think that's an interesting substitution. Whether I'd agree with it is another thing, but yeah, it's certainly a different one to be. We'll see how it works. NG to Tanner, right outside the box, the right hand side, but now they're going one more to the middle with Robertson. Tanner on the right, Rinomhota in the middle. Oh, Horton grabs that one, good, go on. Hardy, pass it, loses it to Gutas. And Gutas runs past the pair of them. And Cardiff can be back on the attack now. As I look at the other games, and Reading have now made it 3, and it's now Reading 3, Crawley 1, and Reading were looking like they were going to make the most of the play. Crawley had the more possession, but Reading were making the more of it. And now it's transfer that one. It's now Reading 3-1 up at Crawley, and now Wickham have also joined in, and Wickham have scored 3. So hang on a minute. Whoa, where the hell did they come from? I want to go to that game. It was Wickham 0, Peterborough 1. It's Wickham 3, Peterborough 1. Where the hell did that one come from? Nobody's keeping me up, are you? You're supposed to be helping me, you guys. Let's go into that. 72 minutes, and Peterborough have had. It's a penalty. Peterborough have had Emmanuel Fernandez sent off on 71 minutes. So we started the second half with the goal that we saw, which was Peterborough going 1-0 up with Jayden Jones. And then 63 minutes we have Cone getting his first with a goal on 63. He has a goal again on 67. He's made a hat-trick with a penalty on 72. I want to know why he got a red card. Let's just see where the red card is.
Randall and Whittaker off, Forshaw and Wright on, 20 and 10 off, 27 and 11 on. Whereas the card
it's actually 71 minutes. Let's have a look at 71. Well, it's a second yellow for handball. So yeah, the ball comes in. And it's blocked by Fernandez's hand, so he's blocked a shot on goal and got his second yellow. So Emmanuel Fernandez off, and it's totally turned around. Wickham 3, Peterborough 1. What have we got here at the Cardiff game? Forshaw for Plymouth. Plymouth seem to have settled down a bit now. Whether they can get a goal or two, who knows, but they certainly seem to have started the second half a little bit better. They've had a shot on goal then, and it was way wide, but at least it's shot on goal, and Cardiff can have a goal kick short to Gutas. Alnwick just 1 or 2. El Ghazi 74 minutes, and it's a Plymouth throw-in on their right. And Plymouth can try and... you don't throw it to... Oh, yes, okay, got it back. 6. Make it a good game of football. They've got to have something to cheer, to smile about when they go back down the M5. Forshaw for Plymouth. Cross to Gibson. Forshaw playing a good bit of a 1-2 here. Saka. Gibson. Crosses it in, but straight to the goalkeeper, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. And Alnwick can bring it out for Cardiff City. We're starting to see, believe it or not, Plymouth start to just play a... and as we say that, it goes straight to the other end and straight in the goal. It's Cardiff 4, Plymouth 0. And I was just saying that Plymouth were starting to get back into it, and they were just playing some good one-touch football. Let's listen to it, because it's going to be...
They do come down the left-hand side. There is so much space that Plymouth are vacated. If Cardiff can go and grab a fourth, what an afternoon, and what an early kick-off this would be.
Here it goes.
Bluebirds, be a reward for all those fans who have got there to the stadium nice and early. 12 for the kick-offs can sometimes be...
Surely they should have got the goal by now.
Down the left-hand side they come. Sean Robinson will be a man who wants to get a goal. The strikers, he's seen the ball go in the back of the net 3 times. I believe he will be wanting to get a goal, or at least maybe a goal contribution. A good piece of play from Cardiff.
I didn't think they were that far behind me. Come on. Cardiff a substitution anyway at the minute.
Come onto the pitch, pings the ball to the left to Robinson. He's got space as a striker on the left-hand side. Will he bring it on his favourite right boot? He does. Goes it into the bottom corner, and Cardiff have made it 4-0. What an afternoon it's been for the Bluebirds. But unfortunately for Wayne Rooney's men, more misery is piled onto them. But a fourth goal for Cardiff. What a finish from Robinson. So much space on the left-hand side. He almost vacated his striker's position to be almost...
So it's now -10 for Cardiff on the goal difference. So can they make it single figures? I think that makes Paul Rooney's side -7. They won't want to be making that too great, because at the end of the year that bottom 6 could very well be quite even. Even if they're 5th, 6th, 7th, it's you don't want to be too close to the other teams on goal difference. There's Bagan now goes for Cardiff. Oh, -6. I thought they were -7 with that one. Yeah, -7. I thought he got it wrong then. I'm sure they were -7. Grimshaw blocks that shot, and so Cardiff. Yeah, Grimshaw's keeping hold of the ball now. I'd rather keep the ball rather than having it in the net. Kicks it out, but poor kick. Poor goal kick is straight into hands into Gutas, who tries running it down through the middle, and Plymouth take it off him. Gibson takes off him, and Gibson can 1-2 with other midfielders. Let's just check all the ons and offs. I'm sure you'd like to know all the ons and offs are. So Plymouth have taken off Whittaker, Gayabi, Haj, Obafemi, Randall, and obviously Sissoko's been red carded. Coming on has been Houghton, Wright, Forshaw, Isaka, and Hardy. The Hardy came back on quite early on, followed by Isaka. And at half time you had Houghton for Plymouth. Cardiff have they've taken off O'Dowda, Turnbull, which I was surprised about, Tanner, Colwill, and El Ghazi, all to be replaced by Bagan, Maite, Kanga, Willock, and Rinomota. The Rinomota Turnbull one was the strange one for me. I was telling before, Turnbull seems to have been the central kingpin for Cardiff, but has it made a difference as Kanga makes a shot and it's off target? I think it has. I think Cardiff don't seem to have that little bit of an edge that they are. Oh, for God's sake! I must be if they're doing it on purpose to pee me off, aren't they? I said Cardiff don't have an edge, and Cardiff goes straight into the box, and it's now Cardiff 5.
Shoots the ball into the bottom of the bottom net. What a goal! 5-0 Cardiff. It's turned to an absolute...
Cardiff 5, Plymouth 0. I should keep my mouth shut. I really should keep my mouth shut.
Gets on the score sheet. 5 goals and a 5-star.
That's the 2 last times I've said something saying that Plymouth are actually doing well, or Cardiff aren't doing as well. And Cardiff goes straight to the other side and says, "Sod you, I'm going to make you pay for saying that."
It's shot right into the ground. It bobbles and bounces up and then hits the top corner. Nothing Grimshaw could do there. Terrible afternoon for the Plymouth goalkeeper. Really not at fault for anything that's gone wrong, but that's the 5th time in 80 minutes he's had to pick the ball up out of his net. See, all of the 5 goals that have
Just
gone in.
so weird. As Forshaw kicks off for Plymouth, and let's go to the. We do need to go to the other games because we did say there are plenty of other. There's 5 games going, isn't it? So we've got Cardiff 5, Plymouth 10-man Plymouth 0, Luton 2. Let's go. Oh, there's a Preston goal. Preston 1. Did we say that? I can't remember. Preston 1. We're coming in now. Preston have scored. Let's go to the Preston game. It looked like being Preston who would score, but they just didn't seem to be getting clinical enough at the other end. But now we have Preston 1, Coventry 0. Let's see what the stats are on that one. We've got 53% possession to Preston, 47 to Coventry. 14 shots for Preston, but only 3 of them on target and 1 goal. You've really got to be doing better than 3 out of 14, surely. 11 shots for Coventry and only 1 on target. These 2 teams are just firing the ball at somewhere over there. I always say, and I'm sure you get sick of it, if you don't shoot it at goal, you're not going to get it in the net and you're not going to win. 14 shots against 11, but only 4 of those 25 goal shots are on target. Let's have a bit of a look at this as Coventry go down the right hand side now. Sakamoto into the corner with Eccles, cross it to Silva, and it's taken off. Taken off or bounced off of Hayden, and it bounces off to Binks for Coventry. And Coventry are pressing for the equaliser, certainly. Sheaf now. Corner for Coventry. Oh, and it's out for a Preston. Preston goal kick. So at the minute, Coventry are just pressing ahead, I think, there. And the interesting game, I would say, other than that, would be the Oxford game. I think the Oxford. Did I see another red card? I might have seen another red card in League One then. Quickly look at this, because Oxford are making a substitution, but Oxford aren't one of those teams to just give up and die. Possession 50-50, 10 shots to Oxford, only 2 on target. That's not like them. 14 shots to West Brom, 3 on target. Yeah, that has been like them recently, unfortunately. But again, 24 shots at target in the whole game, both sides, and only 5 of them have been at the actual net. And I don't know about you, but when I watch a football game, or when I've watched a football game, I used to watch loads. It's really boring when every time your team goes forward, it just goes sky high, and it's the local seagull, or in Rotherham, the local pigeon. It's just not. There's no accuracy in it. Let's just keep it a couple of minutes as Oxford are on the attack with Brown, and Brown can try and come past halfway. No, you pass it back to Nelson. A draw here is 13-2. That is not a bad odds, is it? A draw. It's Oxford 0, West Brom 1. There's not much in it as far as shots on target, and yet the draw is 13-2, which 7. Yeah, that's not bad. 6.5. Shoots it, long shot from Oxford, and it just bounces towards the West Brom goal, and they can kick that one to the defence, and Mowat can try and build it up. Furlong, and Nelson intercepts that one. I can see Oxford doing quite well here. They're actually they're intercepting quite a few balls. Certainly in the last couple of minutes, they seem to be doing quite well. I certainly wouldn't be putting out of the. Yeah, I wouldn't be saying it's not an option of. They get kicking forward. Oh, Goodman has a shot off target. And it's straight in. It bounces off a defender, comes back out, and again they're back into the coming towards the box again with Dale back to Goodrum. And Oxford are pressing, kick it in, but Hegham kicks it out. And only as far as Grant can try and dribble it out for West Brom, and but he decides to kick it and gets to the centre circle, and Moore takes it off him, and Kioso can now try and attack for Oxford. And Oxford it's all Oxford now. Will Vaults for Oxford. Kicks it and across it to Bartley stops it on the line. And I tell you what, he dribbles out as far as Dale, and Dale for Oxford, and Volks has a shot on, it's off target, and I tell you what, if Volks has one on target, that's going in the back of the net. But Oxford are piling on the pressure at home to West Brom, and I'm not going to rule out. There's a red card at Tottenham. Tottenham 4, 10-man West Ham 1. There is a red. Oh, of course it was. It was the Peterborough guy, wasn't it? Wickham 3, 10-man Peterborough 1, which we saw those 3 goals coming in quick succession for Wickham, including a red card and a penalty for handball for the Peterborough guy. There's been what? There's goals at Reading. It's, believe it or not, it's Reading 4, Crawley 1. What the hell's happened there? So we go to Reading. Let's have a look at the Reading, the data on the Reading, because obviously Reading 1-0. Reading, then it was 1-1. Lewis Wing made it 2-1, and then 65 minutes Savage made it 3-1. 73 minutes Sam Smith made it 4-1, and Reading are flying into the lead there. Make sure that's transferred properly. So what do we have? We have Wickham 3, Peterborough 1, and that's certainly looking like, just make sure that's correct on there. And that's certainly looking like a win for Wickham. We have, and it's 10-man Peterborough, so most likely. Reading 4. Although Peterborough did come back from 3-1 against Rotherham, didn't they? We can't. We'll never say never with Peterborough. Reading 4, Crawley 1, but realistically, on 89 minutes, that's dead. So we have in the Championship, they're all on 89 minutes roughly. Cardiff 5, 10-man Plymouth 0, which we're listening to. Luton 2, Watford 0. That's as good as done. They turned that one around quite nicely after they scored the first, and they just managed to. Because up to that point it was all Watford were just way on top, and. But no, they managed to get that second, and I can't see anything happening there. It's 88 minutes. Luton 2, Watford 0. Oxford 0, West Brom 1, and it's 89.5 minutes. I want to see what the extra time is on that, because Oxford are piling on the heat down there, and I'm not going to say it's going to be a West Brom win, because West Brom are actually playing pretty bloody good, but Oxford are taking them on the break, and I mean, it's a couple of pretty good breaks there while we were watching it there. Preston versus Coventry has been a bit of a dull game, to be honest, as we go in. And I say it's going to be a dull game. Shot on target for Thomas for Coventry, but it's saved. and Preston can come back out. And it seems to have been the thing, doesn't it? As soon as I say, oh, this is going to go one way, it's the other team decides to go and score. Yeah, we've got a corner for Coventry. It's 3. And Coventry are... it's end-to-end stuff at the minute with Preston and Coventry. Preston are now running down the left and cross it in, but nobody can get that one, and Dovin will clear that one, probably clear it straight up the other end to try and get an attack going. Binks, Latabaudiere, Sheaf on the right hand side. Sheaf now for Coventry. We've got about 20 seconds to go as Sakamoto takes it up for Coventry. We're trying to get through that back line of black and of white, and we just can't get it. The Coventry shirts just don't seem to be able to find a way through. I think it's a free kick, which would be interesting. Last chance to lob it in, if the ref will allow him to take it. What's he going to do? He's going to, they've let him go there, but Woodman gets that one. It's full time. Preston 1, Coventry 0. Luton Town have just scored, and Luton just wanted to make sure, didn't they, that I'll put that one on in. Luton with a last minute winner there. Luton 3, Watford 0. I will say, I think Cardiff, taking Turnbull off for me for Cardiff was... I just wonder why. I hope it's not an injury, but in second... he was the central pin for Cardiff, and they took him off. They didn't seem to have the same impetus as they did when he was on the pitch. I hope he's okay. Oh no! What did I say? What did I say at Oxford? What did I say? Oxford were doing so well on the break. It's a last minute equaliser, and it's Oxford 1, West Brom 1. I did say it, didn't I? I did say it, and there it is. At least I've said something that came right. I did say something that came right. Ah, dear Lord. I can't even remember what I said. I said Oxford 2, Albion 1 on my predictions, but that was a good fight back. And Cardiff have now finished. It's Cardiff 5, Plymouth 0. So Cardiff has finished. Preston has finished. Preston 1, Coventry 0.
What a performance from Cardiff City. It's been a 5-star performance.
We'll just get rid of you. We've been through that. Don't want to hear any more. And it's been an amazing day. I have to go, so we need to be able to pick up the gauntlet for... excuse me, for the 3 o'clock games. Oh dear, and I need to get a drink because my throat's as dry as crap. At the minute it's 93, 94 minutes everywhere, and it's Oxford 1, West Brom 1, it's Luton 3, Watford 0, Reading 4, Crawley 1, Wycombe 3, Peterborough 0 as now. Wycombe 3, Peterborough 1 is now a final score. So we only have 3 games left. I think we can certainly say Reading are going to win that one. We're going to say Luton are going to win that one. let's just give you what the... and it's full-time at Oxford. Oxford 1, West Brom 1. So we can leave it. We do need to nip off. I will be opening another live stream. Do please join me in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes time for another watch along as we go through the 3 o'clock games in the Championship and in League One. It's John S Sports Channel. Please like and subscribe. Please do like, please do subscribe. I need as many as I can get to that. YouTube do pound me onto people's screens and people join in. So it is nice when I get a few people watching. I do appreciate it, but yeah, the likes and subscribes would be very, very well appreciated. Come and see me again in about 10-15 minutes time. I'll just set up the live stream and get the games typed in, and we'll see you on the other side of the League One and Championship schedule. Thank you very much.